A Cherokee, Iowa man will spend more than 5 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to possession of child pornography. Back in April, 62-year-old Roger Strickland admitted receiving and possessing that illicit material between June of 2022 and May of 2023. After the FBI took his devices, prosecutors say that Strickland obtained more and resumed his activities between August of 2023 and February of 2024. All told, agents found hundreds of videos and thousands of illicit images on Strickland's devices. The judge sentenced him to 5 years, 3 months in prison and ordered him to pay $39,000 in restitution to his victims. He also must complete 5 years of supervised release.
A former city employee of Storm Lake, Iowa, is also facing federal prison time after admitting to having possession of child pornography. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Sioux City says the 52-year-old Brian Oakleaf entered that guilty plea to 2 counts of possession of child pornography on Tuesday. According to prosecutors, Oakleaf received, distributed, and possessed that material between March of 2022 and July of 2024. Their investigation resulted in searches of Oakleaf's home and his office at Storm Lake's City Hall. Oakleaf faces a maximum sentence of 40 years in prison. A date for his sentencing has not yet been set.